Hey everyone, Kyle Mike here from MLive.com, joined by Justin Rogers, clearly dressed up for the occasion. Justin?
Casual day. Casual day.
It's almost like we were here until 2 a.m. last night.
Yeah.
I'm particularly pleased with my mustache, Hall of Fame shirt. I think the loyal viewers of MLive.com, all three of you, would appreciate this.
Yeah. I wore a nice shirt today, but it just got too hot and dressed down to match up with this guy.
Shower curtains aren't great this time of year.
Yeah.
There was a practice today, the last open practice before the game in Oakland. A couple of drills we noticed, Justin. What did you notice from today's practice?
Yeah, some more, I don't want to say playful, but things that sparked the competitiveness of the group. We saw two. We saw one with the defensive line. We saw one with the field goals. I thought the field goal drill was really interesting. They had the entire team essentially surround the kickers, very claustrophobic-like. Screaming, jumping around, saying whatever they wanted to say.
Jason Jones dancing, doing a stank leg or whatever.
You saw guys doing push-ups like right in front of the kick. Tavecchio said that people were shouting things about pizza. And, they were put in this pressure situation where they had to have tunnel vision and drown out all the noise and kick field goals from varying distances that actually got all the way up to 67 yards on the last attempt. No surprise, neither one of those guys made the 67-yard attempt.
Tavecchio was close.
He was close. He came up about 2 yards short. I joked with him after practice. He's been drinking a lot of espresso, imported directly from Italy. Said he could have used an extra shot. I think that might have got him over the hump. But, Tavecchio did look better in the drill. I don't know how relevant it is to the overall kicking competition, but, definitely the team really got into it.
Sam Martin told me after practice that Giorgio Tavecchio actually makes espresso for the position group several times a day, which is probably not surprising given how fast Tavecchio talks.
He's apparently a friend in Italy that ships it over. He's a wholesaler. Well, apparently he's got the place kicker blend.
Yeah, that's what Raiola said this week. It's called the gasoline, right? It was the Italian place kicker blend. It's pretty interesting. Very colorful guy, Tavecchio.
Over at the defensive line?
Yeah, exactly. And I was sitting by the defensive line drills, and I was fascinated by that. The kicker drill was kind of high energy. Guys were really into it. Whereas with the defensive line drill, it was just the defensive line. But they loved it. It was they basically set up pads in a way that it formed two lanes. And one guy would be on the inside lane, and one guy would be on the outside lane. And the goal was for the guy in the outside lane to turn and to catch the guy, to touch the guy who's on the inside lane. And so I talked to Larry Webster and a couple of the guys after practice, and they say they love drills like that because it helps with their get-off speed. And it's one thing to line up and to blow a whistle and have two guys go. But it's another thing for these guys who've been doing this their whole lives to line up in a drill like that and to make a game out of it. And guys really got into it. You could tell that there's a pep in their step. They got extremely competitive. And I think, it's just another way we've seen this coaching staff really trying to instill competition and make training camp a little playful. I think the guys have responded.
I actually thought you were going to talk about the other defensive line drill. Oh. They got into two groups, and they basically ran a relay around one of the, you've seen them, they look like giant hula hoop rings. They, measure their lateral speed in a circle, and each guy had to go and then tag his next teammate, and so I think it was about 7 guys aside, and they were racing as teams. Again, very high energy, very competitive. Yeah. And we've seen some of the stuff after practice, too. Quarterbacks have been really getting into it. I talked to Kellen Moore about it today. Apparently, the quarterbacks just every practice when the media clears out play different games that, one of the guys in the group's and they're keeping like a long-term scoreboard in the quarterback room. So, there's just these competitions within competitions that have, that allows them to, I guess, let out some of that competitive energy, beyond just their football activities.
With that relay drill you were describing with the defensive line, I know this is pick on Nick Fairley week and everything, but I was watching this drill and there's a lot going on. There's 2 hula hoops, the relays, so there's 2 guys running at the same time. There's a lot of guys yelling and stuff. There's a lot of stuff to see, and I was just kind of casually watching, and all of a sudden I thought, who is that guy running really slow? And it was Nick Fairley. And it was just another day of Fairley not, I would say, it looked like he was not giving top effort. And I don't want to say a guy is not giving his 100%, but it didn't look, a guy that talented, it didn't look like he was going full speed for parts of practice today. And I say that to say that, again, for the 3rd consecutive day, Fairley was on the 2nd team. CJ Mosley was with the 1st team, and Mosley's practiced very well. And we've written about that this week. And I think at this point it's fair to wonder whether or not Nick Fairley doesn't start in the game against the Raiders.
Yeah, and in the other drill you mentioned, the side-by-side race, Fairley winning against Sioux, and it looked like half effort. There's no other way to put it. The guy's clearly not dealing well with whatever the punishment has been from the team. moping, distancing himself from the teammates, and it continues. And I would think they would wish he'd respond differently, but he's not responding in a way that I would want to see as a coach.
Players have reached out. I know C.J. Mosley has reached out. They're trying to get his head out of the whatever space that it's in. But for now, the Nick Fairley watch continues, and that's something we'll have to monitor going forward. Because at this point, it's certainly a trend. It seems he's being disciplined, and we're told, as we wrote today, we're told that it's a weight issue, or at least that's a component of it. So something to watch going forward. For Justin Rogers, I'm Kyle Meinke. We're MLive. Keep it right here.